我已经学习中文1年了，但是我的中文还是很差。我的意思是，我的发音还可以，我的口语能力真的不好，但是我的听力太不好了。Yes, guys, I have studied Chinese for a year now on a daily basis, and I really mean it, daily. On some days I studied up to 6 hours, on some days I just reviewed my vocabulary, my flashcards, as a bare minimum. You may think, wow, his Chinese must be so good after so much studying. No. But before I tell you how little you actually learn after a few hundred hours of studying, I'll take you on a short journey summing up my stages of learning Chinese so far. For the first time, my biggest motivation was my fascination. I was at work and I literally could not wait to get home and to study Chinese. I even studied at work, like in my breaks. I was learning new vocabulary, I was listening to Chinese podcasts for beginners. I was just a fanatic. There was a time when I studied most. Despite a full-time job, I studied up to 20 hours a week, and I can actually prove it because I've been using that software called Forest, which helps you to set a timer while doing an activity. It's not a paid collaboration though, unfortunately. Then something changed. There was another job where I worked like a slave. I worked overtime almost every day and often on Saturdays. Being physically more exhausted and having less free time, I also had less time to study Chinese. I still forced myself to keep listening to Chinese input while working, and I read short stories as much as I could, like on the way, in the car, in the breaks. But I didn't study so much anymore actively, like sitting down and actually writing down new characters, learning new words and new expressions. Then I finally started my travels here in Australia, and even though I did not work anymore, I didn't have so much free time because we were just constantly exploring, constantly on the go. And again, though I read short stories on my phone, I didn't put in so much effort to study actively. Just every now and then I sat down and learned a few new characters, but that did not happen on a daily basis like it was back then in the first time.
他养成了天天跑步的好习惯.
But now I'm finally in a city again. I'm living in Brisbane. I'm planning to stay here for the next months. I had some people commenting that they're also from Brisbane, so greetings. And now I have this structure again, and I'm very proud to say that I'm back to learning actively again. Even this morning I learned 4 or 5 new characters, and I'm going to learn a few more later. So this is something I'm really proud of, that I have this kind of active learning habit again. Now, after a few hundred hours of studying, how good is my Chinese? No good at all. If I hear natives speaking in their normal daily speed, I understand absolutely nothing. It's just way too fast. If they only use short phrases, which I used often, like 我不知道 or 你吃饭了吗? 还没有, then I get it, like 我想一杯咖啡. Yes, because it's short, I heard that often, it's easy. But if they form long sentences, no chance. My brain just cannot process it quick enough because I'm still thinking very slowly in Chinese. If they would speak very slowly, though, with this kind of speed, 你今天过得怎么样? That would be perfect for me. Then I would have enough time to think of what they say. And because I only know like 1500 words, there are just too many gaps because of missing words that I don't know yet. Therefore, I cannot watch any Chinese shows or not even kids movies because nobody is just using a small vocabulary of 1,000 words and speaking that slow. In my big language learning video on this channel here, I explained that there is a bridge between hearing a sentence in a foreign language and how long it takes until you translate it into its meaning and you actually receive its meaning, its message. And for me in Chinese, it's still pretty slow. It really takes quite a few milliseconds or up to seconds until I understand what's behind the sentence. And maybe it's also because I don't speak it so much myself. I think it really boosts my understanding ability if I would improve my speaking ability. Maybe I also focus a bit too much on theory and not that much on practicing and speaking it. I sometimes wonder how much longer I have to study until I've reached that stage of I really have to listen actively and concentrate it just goes into my ear, like it is with English right now, though English is not my first language. Now, all these polyglot YouTubers out there, which I do not see myself as one of, they have something in common. They pretend to be better than they are. And whatever they say in their new learned language is prepared, it's scripted, and it's cut together. Therefore, I'll just show you, totally unscripted, how I would just say a few things in Chinese. Here's actually a proof, short video. There is nothing, no script, no, nothing here. There's my camera. 这是我的照相机. Yeah, here, there is nothing in the bottle. Let's get started. And my phone, I'll just leave here. 宝贝，你好，你叫什么名字？你很漂亮，你想是我的女朋友吗？ No, serious. Chinese res. 虽然我知道很多词，我差不多，我知道还是认识，不知道。反正我知道差不多1500词，但是我的中文不太好了。首先我需要说，我知道，我说中文的时候，我有很多错误。我说中文的时候，我想的很慢。今天是星期四，我今天有休息日，但是只是晚上要去上班。今晚我需要工作4个小时。如果你问我了，你最近怎么样？还是你今天过得怎么样？我说，非常好。我上晚睡了9个小时，可能我今天要去运动 is exercise? Doing sports? I have to look it up, okay? Allow me. Yeah, here. Sports. Exercise. Yeah. I'll maybe hit the gym today, although. Anyway, now back to Chinese. 今天天气还可以。天空有很多云。我不知道怎么说。cloudy weather, overcast. Allow me to look it up. 阴 how do I use it? 阴天，今天是阴天，还是今天阴天？对不起，虽然我11个月开始学习中文，我的口语能力还是真的不好。Yeah. As you can see, it is pretty sad. 我很难过。After studying a year, my Chinese is still so bad. I feel like you can learn all these expressions in just a week, but I just said them like right off the top of my head. If this is an expression, top of my head. It was not like prepared or scripted. It's just how I would say certain things without having them learned by heart, just to present them. We also have to remember speaking is always the most difficult task when learning a language. My reading is not so bad. Actually, I can show you my current reading skills. So I'll start the screen recorder here. And open Do Chinese. So I'm reading a story here called To Meet. It's like a doctor meets a girl in a hospital at night. It's a bit creepy. And as you can see, I just read the first 3 chapters, so I'll just go on a random chapter. Let's go like chapter 7. Okay, we don't have the pinyin, I'll just read it to you. 七，你可以帮我吗? Can you help me? B1, low. Low, is it? Yep, low. 长平慢慢地走到了一个大门。 门前，门是关着的。长平叫了声白雪，没有人回答。长平又叫了一声白雪，还是没有人回答他。回答他。Why the fuck is so difficult? 一定是。 我想多了，这里怎么会有人呢？长平对自己说。长平走回到电梯里，就在电梯门要关上的时候，长平好像看见了一个人影。Yeah, as you can see, it's not the smoothest in the world. But I would say I read better than I speak. As I said, speaking is the most difficult task. I think in order to see more progress, I should focus more on interacting with Chinese people in real life, rather than just studying unilaterally and never speaking it. Some people can speak fluently even after 1 year because they mostly focused on speaking the language. And this is the way you can improve your language, the quickest and literally just fastest way. And that was unfortunately not possible for me because I don't have somebody who is Chinese around me who accompanies me all day long, which would be very nice though. Somebody who does not judge me that I'm such a noob and just understands that I'm a learner. Many natives, they have like no understanding for learners. They have never learned a language themselves. They just speak normal speed as if you understand everything. But I would need somebody who is just there for me, who just forgives me. I think I just need a Chinese girlfriend. Oh man. Let's see how it's gonna be after 1 year and after 2 years, where, God willing, I will be in China already. Now I don't feel I'm ready, even though it will be always the best time to go to China because you will learn it there so much quicker. But I have some other plans for this year. So, and then we'll see how it will be. I think my Chinese will start taking off when I will be in China itself and just surround myself by Chinese people. No German, no English, no nothing. It was similar with Australia and English. My English was pretty good when I came to Australia in terms of understanding and vocabulary. But my speaking ability was, of course, very poor, very thick accent and everything, lots of grammar mistakes. But here, I had to speak English. I spoke it all day long. I was surrounded by it 24/7. I always lived with English-speaking people, and so my speaking ability just improved so much. And I hope it will be the same with China. That when I get there, I know heaps of vocabulary already. I know the pronunciation and stuff, but speaking it just becomes more naturally. This is what I hope. Yeah. Alright guys, I hope this very authentic and sincere insight helped you and you are aware of that studying a language just takes years. There is no shortcut. If you are working most of the time, it's a real struggle. But I want to encourage all of you because 3 years will pass anyway. And after the 3 years, you will look back and think, what difference would it be now if I would have studied that language? And it would be a big difference. You would be able to speak the language fluently by then. So just do it. Anyway, 加油，再见。